everyone. Welcome to Fun Foods here at the Fayette County Public Library. I'm Miss Lisa and I have got a fun treat for you today. I am going to be showing you how to make a no-bake cheesecake that has an orange dreamsicle topping. If you like orange, this is the cheesecake for you. Well, the table is filled with stuff. I've got a lot of ingredients here. Of course, to make a cheesecake, you need cream cheese. You're going to need some sugar, some powdered sugar, some vanilla. For this one, you're going to need some orange extract. You're going to need a jar or a container of orange jello. And you need some melted butter and vanilla wafer. That's to make the crust. All right. Oh, forgot the heavy cream too. We need this. All right. So to begin with, let me just tell you, there's something that you need to do ahead of time. So you want to have your orange jello dissolved in 3/4 cup of hot water. Then you want to set it on the counter for a while because we really need it at room temperature to be able to be mixed in with the other ingredients today. So I've already done that for us. The next thing we're going to do is take our heavy whipping cream and we are going to make our own whipped cream. So we're going to pour this into a bowl. Now my bowl has been in the refrigerator for a while, so it's a little chilled, which helps going to speed up the process. And in with that 16 ounces of heavy whipping cream, we are going to put 1/2 cup of powdered sugar and just a tiny bit of vanilla, 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. So let me see if I can pour it into this teeny tiny little bowl, little tiny spoon, just 1/4. All right, put that vanilla in there, and then in about 1 minute, it should turn into some peaks, okay, and some stiff peaks is what we're after. So I'm going to turn my mixer on. All right, and then we're going to let it do its thing for a little while. Now, while it's doing its thing, I want to show you how to make a really easy cheesecake crust. Take some vanilla wafers and put it in a Ziploc bag. I used about 1/2 of a box, and then I crunched it with my rolling pin. You want it super fine, all these little fine dust particles of vanilla wafer. Then you're going to pour into there 1/2 of a cup of sugar and mix that around a little bit. And then we need some melted butter. This is 4 tablespoons of melted butter. We're just going to pour it in. All right, and then we're going to zip it back up and mix that butter in there really well. Okay, I think I got a little bit too much air in there. Squeeze the air out. All right. And I'm just going to keep mixing it until it's all mixed well together. And then I'm going to pour it into a pan. Now, to make cheesecake, you really need a deep dish pan. This is a fairly shallow one, but I'm just going to show you how easy it is to make a crust. So we're going to pour, this is just butter, sugar, and vanilla wafers. Okay? So once we pour it in there, my hands are clean. I'm just going to pat it down. For a cheesecake, you're going to want that crust to sort of go up the sides. This could also be used for a pudding crust, like a pudding pie, if you want to do that too. Now, once you have your crust, this really should go and sit in the refrigerator for a while. Okay. Now, using a spring form or a deep dish baking pan is really best for cheesecake. So here's the one that I have previously made, and this is what's going to go, our filling is going to go in here today. All right, let's go ahead and check on our whipping cream. Ah! Oh my goodness, where'd I go? All right, it got caught in there. Okay, the heavy, or the hard peaks have not formed yet, so we got to keep it going. All right. So, while that is still going, we will prepare for the next step. Our next step is going to be to make the cheesecake part. So we're going to take 2 bricks of cheesecake, or of cheese, I'm sorry, cream cheese. And I'm going to go ahead and cut these into little slices so that it will be easier to mix when we're ready to do the mixing. Okay, and I have this at room temperature, so it's nice and soft. Alright, I'm still waiting for those hard peaks to form over there on that whipping cream. Supposed to take about 1 minute to 2 minutes. Alright. Now, if you don't want to try to make your own whipped cream, I suppose you could maybe buy the Cool Whip and keep that at room temperature and use it. But when I made this the first time, I made my own, and it just adds an extra bit of deliciousness to it versus using the Cool Whip. Alright, oh looky, it's starting to get a little bit of a soft peak. Okay, it's starting to stand up by itself just a little bit. That's how you know it's almost ready. So, here we sit. Okay, maybe we can go ahead and stir this up a little bit to soften it up and spread it around. Alright, look at all that yummy, yummy cream cheese in there. Alright, let's turn this off in just a minute. You definitely don't want to overdo it. Does it stand up yet? Not quite. Okay, so we need to probably go on a little bit longer. Now, in with your cream cheese, you also need some sugar. So you are going to need 3/4 of a cup of sugar. I'll go ahead and put that in there. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen. Once we mix these two things together and we have our whipped topping over here, we're going to add this to half of that, and the other half is going to go in here. And then we are going to layer our cheesecake in our deep dish pan, and it will be basically ready to eat. But we have to have our hard peaks over here. It's getting there. Alright, let's give it another 30 seconds or so to really get ready. We don't want to be too early with it. We want to make sure that we've whipped our whipping cream really well so that we have our hard peaks. Okay? Looking like it's pretty fluffy. So now, if I was at home, I might would start cleaning up, but oh, it's looking really good. Okay, so we know that these, see how that stands up now by itself? You have just now made your very own homemade whipped topping. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. Go ahead and, whoops, we don't want a napkin in there. All right, so we're going to clean up this just a little bit. It's pretty well stuck in there. All right, so there is our very own whipped topping. Set that aside for a minute while we blend this stuff together. Lock the bowl in place. Yep. All right, so this shouldn't take too long to mix the sugar with the cream cheese. Okay, set that down inside. That's probably all it's going to take because it was really soft. Okay, so let's just make sure we got all of it mixed well together, the sugar and the cream cheese. All right, so our next step is to take half of this and stick it in here. So we'll take half of this and then we'll mix it up just a little bit. Okay, we're just going to blend it together just a little. We don't want it to overdo. Put that in there and mix it up. Doesn't take much, just as long as everything gets blended well together. Okay. So now we have, this is our bottom layer of our cheesecake. This will become our top layer. So what we do here is that we take our Jell-O, okay, which is now cool and at room temperature. We're going to pour it in and stir it around so that we get this wonderful, yummy, orange dreamsicle flavor. Now, to make it a little more orangey, because you sort of lose the color when you put it in there with that whipped. I'm not sure. Oh my goodness, this lid is tight. There we go. All right, so we want about 1/2 teaspoon of this orange extract, which will definitely give us, I'm going to add just a little bit more, definitely give us that orange flavor that we're after. All right, let's go ahead and put a little bit more in there. Stir that up. Okay. Now, if this was too hot, you're going to melt your whipped cream here, so you don't want it to be hot. That's why it's very important that it's at room temperature. Okay. And I don't even think I'm going to use all of it, because I don't want it to dissolve all the way. Okay, so once we have that stuff ready, I need my springform pan, which is a deep dish cheesecake pan. I'm going to come over here and get my cheesecake layer. All right, and we are going to put that in the bottom and spread it around evenly. All right, get all of it out. We don't want to waste any of this yumminess. Okay, you see how it comes way up, almost halfway up the pan. So this is why you need a deep dish pan to make this kind of a cheesecake. So my crust only goes to the layer of the cheesecake. All right. There's a little bit more in there. I'll just go ahead and spread that around. Okay, and then you are going to add the yummy orange dreamsicle topping. So that just goes right on top. Now, if you want to be fancy, you can take a toothpick or a longer type fork and swirl the orange into the cheesecake. I've seen some people online have some very fancy looking orange dreamsicle cakes or pies here, and I'm not sure I want to attempt that today. So we're going to get all of this yummy orange out. Now it's best to go ahead and then put it in the refrigerator for just a little bit, probably before you slice it up and give it to your friends to eat. Now with a springform pan, you've got the spring here, so we can undo it, and that's going to take this part off, and there you have your cheesecake. Okay, and so once you get it a little chilled, you can cut it and eat it. So what do you think, folks? This is a no-bake orange dreamsicle cheesecake. All right, thanks for watching. I'm Miss Lisa, and I'm here at the Fayette County Public Library. I'll see you in 2 weeks for another recipe during Fun Foods. Bye now.